We are coming to you live from the CNN News 18 primetime studios presented by Greenlam Laminates. Now on Friday here on the right stand, we reported how 8 terror operatives had been arrested from Assam, Bengal and Kerala in a joint operation by the Special Task Force. They all had one common motive: how to create sleeper cells across Assam and Bengal and subvert Bharat. A free run to radicals in the neighbouring nation of Bangladesh has enabled the influx of illegal immigrants across the border. Now, let's try and understand. Ansarullah Bangla operative Mohammad Saad Radi, alias Shab Sheikh, aged 36, was arrested in Kasaragod on Friday. He entered Bharat in November. He was arrested in a joint op by Assam and Bengal Police. He acted on the direction of Mohammad Farhan Israq, linked to Rahmani. Rahmani is the chief of the Ansarullah Bangla team. Now, ABT is an affiliate of the AQIS or the Al-Qaeda in the Indian subcontinent. Now, the suspected ABT operatives arrested from Murshidabad. In the same crackdown, ABT operative Minarul Sheikh, 40 years old, who worked in the garb of a pump mechanic, was arrested. And Abbas Ali, aged 33, was also arrested. Tehreek-e-Mujahideen member Javed Munshi was then arrested on Saturday. Arrested in a joint operation by the Bengal and the Kashmir Police. He was arrested from Bengal's Canning region. And after a major crackdown, this major crackdown where the West Bengal STF arrested Pakistan-trained terrorist Javed Munshi near the Indo-Bangladesh border. Here is a CNN News 18 mega exclusive. The input shared with us by our Security Affairs editor Manoj Kumar Gupta, and these are intel sources. Intel sources revealing to CNN News 18 that Bangladesh is hosting Jammu and Kashmir terror groups also because of pressure from anti-India groups like the Ansarullah Bangla team and also the Jamaat. Pak-trained terrorist Javed Munshi's arrest from Bengal is the cause for major concern. Bangladesh becoming a hub for all terror groups, including Lashkar, ISIS and also the Al-Qaeda in the Indian subcontinent. ISIS and Al-Qaeda are also active in Bangladesh, and Indian agencies have made multiple arrests in Jammu and Kashmir of elements who belong to these or affiliated to these groups. There's more. Munshi was trained in Pakistan. He visited Pakistan in 1990s. During the 1990s, is also trained in IED attacks. Javed Munshi's arrest from West Bengal is crucial for agencies. Munshi is trained in weapons, logistics and radicalization. Javed Munshi has told security agencies about his plans to visit Bangladesh in order to see the revival in terror activities with the help of other terror outfits. Bangladesh is also providing easy entry and exit for all of these terror accused. Bangladesh state machinery is actually helping terror accused, is what the intel sources are revealing to us. The terror groups are allowed to enter Bangladesh freely. The interim government under Muhammad Yunus is perhaps acting under pressure from these terror groups and radical groups, which we have earlier reported are actually now fiercely competing for space in that entire pan-Islamist domain. The Ansarullah Bangla team, there is pressure from them, there is pressure from the Jamaat, there is pressure from the ISIS-related elements, there is pressure from the Jamaatul Mujahideen Bangladesh, there is pressure from the AQIS, Al-Qaeda in the Indian subcontinent and its various offshoots, and the interim government. Is it allowing the radicals to have a free run? And is this a huge security contention for Bharat? And how are we prepared? Internally, they are using the porous borders, the states in and around, and some of them perhaps lax in their scrutiny of these elements entering. Let's go across to our guest this evening. Charu Pragya, spokesperson of the BJP with us. Shabnam Dey, political analyst, leans towards the Trinamool Congress with us. We should have Abhijit Iyer Mitra, senior fellow IPCS, in just a bit. But Charu Pragya, this is alarming. Across the length and breadth of the country, these are elements who are illegals, these are elements who are terrorists, these are elements who have a sinister design, and they seem to have a far better embedded network in our country than one would perceive or think so.
You're absolutely right, Anand. That situation like this is
suddenly finding the ground to be very fertile to be working in the state of West Bengal. Why is it that they would rather leave other parts of the country, even Jammu and Kashmir, and be in West Bengal? In fact, in recent times, in the last couple of weeks, This is the second arrest which is linked to a terrorist only from the state of West Bengal. And I have a bit of an idea. Let me remind everyone that TMC's Yusuf Pathan is in a constituency, Behrampur. And there the number of people which are advocating for Pakistan has drastically gone up and nobody puts a stop to it. In fact, if you even look at the way the voter demographic has been changing, the way radicalism has been allowed to take root in that state, and I will fair and square blame the government, that has been alarming. Do you remember a time a few years ago, NIA conducted raids across West Bengal and we actually found workshops which were teaching young people to make bombs, and these workshops were actually operated out of madrasas. Please tell me, why is it that that particular state prefers the borders to be porous? When the BSF wants to increase the ambit of its work, the only state which objects to BSF doing its job is the government of West Bengal. And they put a stop to every effort being made by the union government to, one, control the borders and to make sure periodic checks are carried out. This government is actively shielding terrorists, not just criminals, mind you, shielding terrorists. And this has been a very problematic situation, though I am glad this guy has been arrested. But do notice that no links have been found further than what has been traced. Nobody can be operating in isolation. So more work needs to be done. And today, through your show and through your channel, I would urge the government of West Bengal, Mamta Didi in particular, to please pull her MLAs to task.
Tell them that this amount of radicalism and the kind of statements they give against India and the Indian government is not proper. And I'm being very responsible when I'm saying this. And everybody needs to work together to combat terrorism. We cannot have a state which actually promotes it because they get a few extra votes every election.
Okay, Shabnam De.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Anand, to share with the comments which has been spoken by BJP spokesperson, Mr. Charu Pragya, that I reiterate that what STF has done, they are doing a very good work because that investigating agency, not like any other, they are very organized and they could succeed in arresting and investigating these Bangladeshi so-called terrorists and all. So this is not the only particular of the state government to be blamed of, because it is entire security and integrity of the nation, and that has to be looked by the BSF. There is a chicken neck. You have heard of Mr. Anand. You also covered with this your coverage of chicken neck through your media channel. So they are trying to capture this chicken neck. It is not the only the state responsibility. It is regarding the responsibility which is burden on the our home ministry affairs of the central government, because all these are to be looked into very deeply and to be secured tightly with BSF and other agencies, because these infiltration and perpetration, these are being done, and now when STF has caught hold of, and through their intelligence they could arrest these Kashmiri terrorists, Bangladeshi terrorists. So these are not only happening only in West Bengal, in many other the state border which is with Bangladesh or with Pakistan border, it's happening in Ladakh, in Kashmir, Himachal, everywhere. So a terrorist threat is across the global. It's not only what Ms. Charu Pragya is talking about, that state government. It's not about the state government to be concerned. It's about the concern of the whole nation or global,
right,
national,
see,
international.
there is a counter point of view to that, but Charu Pragya, respond. The BSF is allowing these people inside. What is the BSF doing? There is the Siliguri corridor, which is a serious threat, and it's been for a long time. What have we done to secure ourselves as a nation before we point fingers at the state?
Yes. So I'm, like I said, Anand, I'm being responsible when I'm saying this. I am pointing fingers to the state because whatever part of the country you look at, whether it is parts of Uttar Pradesh, whether it is Maharashtra, arrests have been made by local cops of people which are illegal immigrants into India, which are indulging in criminal activities. I can list an entire page full of names with dates of these arrests, and I will tell you why these people enter India. They enter India because local leaders in the border areas allow these people in, help them make papers. In fact, during the 24 Lok Sabha elections as well, we had statements from TMC leaders openly saying if they are from Bangladesh and they're supporters of TMC, help them get their papers made. Now, this kind of an activity is a problematic one, and we have people on video saying these kind of things. And the second reason why I'm blaming the state is that you went on protecting certain places which were operating under the guise of a madrasa. Terrorist activities, you never took any action. So today, for some political parties, their vote bank has become larger than national security. And when you mention the BSF, our men of the BSF are working very hard round the clock to protect our borders. But what do you do in that one state when they increase the purview of their work to 2 kilometers, they are not allowed to operate? Mamta Didi is writing letters to our Prime Minister Modi ji saying that you're causing inconvenience to my citizens by allowing BSF to do their work in my state. So when you are indulging in these kind of activities, please take responsibility.
Abhijit Iyer Mitra and then Shabnam De. Yeah.
You know, the most amazing thing, Anand, is if you look at the total fertility rate of West Bengal, it's 1.4.
Correct.
The replacement rate is meant to be 2.1 and it is 1.4. Yet you look at the census year on year, every 10 years. Between 51 and 61, the Muslim population rose by 25%. Between 61 and 71 by 44.8%. Between 71 and 81 by 22%, 81 and 91, 23%. But amazingly, Anand, between 91 and 2001, it rose by a spectacular 51%. And between 2001 and 2011, 35%. In 2011, the population was 24.6 million. Suddenly, it has become 31 point something million. These are not natural growth rates, Anand. If the census can't be lying, the current population estimates can't be lying. There is systematic, significant, politically targeted migration, sponsored migration that has been happening from Bangladesh to India for political reasons of all different kinds. Now, in this, you have local radicalization which has been happening, but all that process has been accelerated by this immigrant radicalization that has been coming from across the border. Now, the problem is, this is now why this has become an even bigger problem right now is because of what is happening in Bangladesh and the sort of sympathetic, synchronous jumps in radicalization you're seeing. As it is, you have Muhammad Yunus, who's the sort of, mukhota, so to say,
Right.
of an extremely radical government that is controlled by Jamaat-e-Islami. Because remember, Sheikh Hasina had finished off the BNP. Not that the BNP was a very liberal party or anything like that, but the Jamaat-e-Islami are the Razakars who supported Pakistani genocide in Bangladesh. And you are seeing that the radicalism on this side is now spiking, becoming more in your face, egregious, risk-taking, in synchronization with what is happening in Bangladesh. Just last week, there was a bunch of 22 Jamaat-e-Islami people who rocked up in Beijing to start building international networks.
Right.
People are linked to CAIR and the Canadian Muslim organizations and things like that. You know how these,
Correct.
the sort of Soros Muslim Brotherhood, they're all linked at some level because, Soros loves agents of chaos. That is linked up. And is it any surprise then that you're seeing the sudden spurt of radicalization here in India? These are much larger macro trends, Anand, we need to be very, very careful about. We have ignored them for far too long and we need to start taking them very seriously.
Very rightly said. We've just got more news coming through, and this is about one of the terrorists who's been arrested. Now, this is what we have. ABT operative Saad Radi was arrested from Kasargod on Friday, and Mohammad Saad Radi, who was held in Kasargod, was arrested after a joint team of the Assam Police and West Bengal Police conducted Pan Bharat raids. Now, Radi is the mastermind of a sleeper cell and owes allegiance to the ABT or the Ansarullah Bangla team, an affiliate of the Al-Qaeda in the Indian subcontinent. BJP's Amit Malviya has claimed that the detained ABT members possessed voter ID cards from two different constituencies, Kanti and Hariharpara in Murshidabad. Kandi and Hariharpara in Murshidabad. Quoting him, this incident is just the tip of the iceberg. Illegal infiltrators obtaining voting rights have become a significant part of the Trinamool Congress's voter base, enabling their continued grip on power. Now, even as we say this and I go across to Shabnam De, there is just one point that is important to highlight. That aspect is that these arrests could not have happened had the Bengal STF not cooperated with Assam, J&K and the Kerala police, and there had not been a overall cooperation in counter-terrorism activity. So kudos to that fact that there is collaboration on counter-terrorism aspects. But where there is collusion between these illegals and the polity is this creation of these fake voter IDs. Shabnam De, what guarantee or what accounts for this? Now, we have in the past here on the right stand had former BSF chiefs, DGs, who have come and said that when they would round up and catch illegals in Bengal and hand it over to the local police station, they would see those very people roaming around the next day as free citizens of West Bengal, because the cops would let them go under pressure from the local netas. Now, please answer this. This is the charge, that you may be aiding your law and order enforcement, may be aiding in counter-terrorism operations, but you are the ones who are allowing them. And Abhijit Iyer Mitra has just now elucidated brilliantly via data how there is a disproportionate growth in a particular size of population when the TFR is down, but the population is disproportionately increasing. That can happen only when there are illegals and there is an influx from somewhere else.
Anand, you have to understand the scenario of the topography and the geography and the culture and the history of India, which is surrounded by all these Islamic countries mostly. And this India, where the population is overrated not only today, but this has been census.
This data that he is quoting is purely of Bengal. And I have visited Bengal. I have seen from my own eyes how the scenario of it has changed between the year 1995, 2000, 2005, 2015 and 2022-23. So there has been a significant change in the same area. You yourself, being a person resident of Bengal, would have realized what is happening around you. My point is, ma'am, is that in the interest of the country? Is that in the interest of the state?
In the interest of the country and in the interest of the state, our CM is very vigilant about all these perpetration.
So then, how do these people have? How does this terrorist who's been arrested have voter IDs from two different constituencies?
Two different constituencies. These terrorists they are resorting to so many aids and so many their fake. Their mechanisms and their mechanism.
How are they doing it? Law and order is a state subject. That is what Mamata Banerjee said when the CBI team came to Kolkata and they were gherao out by the local state police. The law and order is a state subject. That is the explanation that Ms. Mamata Bandyopadhyay, the Home Minister of the state of Bengal, said when the BSF wanted to increase its jurisdiction to 50 kilometers inside the territory and said, no, you can't encroach into our own jurisdiction. This is Bengal police.
No, that is the basis of the central and state to see how BSF will be working, and CM knows better that how BSF will be.
I am asking you if so please tell me then, how are these people getting voter IDs in Bengal?
Voter IDs not only in Bengal. If it is upsurge, if it is your media coverage you see in Bihar, UP, everywhere, these fake voter cards are being made out.
My question is, they are entering into Bharat. They are not entering into Bharat from Bihar. They are entering into Bharat from Bengal. Their first point of incursion, infiltration, entry is Bengal and those porous borders. Has the state government written a single letter saying seal these borders? Has the state government written a single letter saying that give them shoot at sight orders because we don't want these illegals into our country, into our soil? And correct me if I'm wrong. My geography may be a little weak. Murshidabad, right, bang on that very particular area where the borders are porous, and across the river, across the river is Bangladesh.
Uttar Dinajpur, Kuch Bihar, Alipurduar, Murshidabad, all are interlinked and all are boundary.
And does the data not show that in all these places there is a disproportionate increase in population compared to the replacement rate?
Not disproportionate. It is that these population upsurge is there in India, and it is not secluded to Bengal. This border, these are interconnected with Bangladesh in such a way that more vigilance are to be taken place.
You please tell me a single, please show me, Shabnam, with respect, that the Home Minister of the state of Bengal has written a single letter to the Home Minister of the country that seal these borders, we have a security issue.
Security issue, what
I'm asking you, is there a single letter in the last glorious 12 years, ma'am?
See, Anand, how can I say if the data is not in front of me? But the thing is that
I'm asking you, to the best of your memory, do you recall a single letter that's been written? Abhijit Iyer Mitra, do you recall a single letter? Let's allow Shabnam Dey about 2 minutes to Google it and find out if there is a single letter that's been written by the Home Minister of the state of Bengal to the Home Minister of this country over the last 15 years, actually, 15 years plus, which says we have a security problem, we have people who are not of this state, we have people coming from somewhere, and it's causing a problem to the Bengali, Bhadralok and the Bengali people.
Not only, Anand, is there no such letter, the problem is, you see, when the CA NRC was being carried out, which would have helped, making doodh ka doodh, pani ka pani, the local government refused to cooperate with it. When the Assamese wanted to correlate their records, because you see there are migrants from West Bengal out there, and there are illegal infiltrators from Bangladesh in Assam. When they wanted to coordinate their records with West Bengal, Didi refused to even coordinate with them. She refused to help them out with any documentation. No documents would be provided, anything like that. So not only has it been just not writing to the center, it has also been active denial of any intrastate efforts to do anything. That said, Anand, we should also remember that the BSF has not acquitted itself with any glory out here. I remember going with a colleague to the Bangladesh border to track cow smuggling to Bangladesh. The BSF was quite complicit in it in those days, not at the upper level, but at the local level. They were we could see the BSF seeing that cows were being smuggled, they would do nothing about it.
Correct. That's the next question I was going to ask Charu Pragya. Who's given the BSF don't shoot at sight? Keep your guns down. That the Home Minister of Bengal or the Home Minister of Bharat? How is it that cows are going at 5,000 rupees per cow, allegedly, reportedly, and similar rate is for allowing human beings from the other side to this side?
Anand, see, shooting citizens and shooting criminals on sight, now that is an issue which needs to be dealt with on a case-to-case basis. But there was some information that I was wanting to give, because the TMC spokesperson very conveniently left out all the activities of her party. But I want to point out a few. Hamidul Rahman is one of her MLAs who said that in my area there are so many Bangladeshis living now who have come across the border illegally that we are going to now apply only Sharia law. Recently, Ratna Biswas, who's from North Pargana, said that 2024 ki voter list
my simple point, Charu Pragya, would these people have the temerity to say what they said had there been no Bangladeshis here? How did they come in? The job of national security and protecting our borders lies with the center.
Absolutely.
The job of cooperating and ensuring that these illegals, if they have come into and then they are highlighted and then their pressure is put on the center, is of the state. Both seem to have failed in this case, and the only entity that is getting hurt because of this or is poised to get hurt because of this is the country.
Anand,
That's
the
how it
issue
is.
here is but issue
I have
here
to
is
pause
that
here. We will continue to trace this, and we are not going to hold any questions. When it comes to the country, ma'am, there is no compromise. And if there are people who are for their political means and turning a blind eye and just raising an issue half-baked, then we're going to question both entities, be it the state or the center, because it's the issue of our country. We have more than 4 crore illegals in our country, and it's a serious issue because we can't send them out now. We can't send them out, and thousands are coming in every day, and we are not stopping them too. That's a problem. We've got to take a short break. I've got to wind up. Thank you to all our guests. Before we go out, just these pictures coming in. Prime Minister Narendra Modi at the Catholic Bishops' Conference in New Delhi. That's where it is. The Christmas celebrations, and the Prime Minister is present there. The Home Minister is also likely to be present there. We are given to understand, but this is the PM attending this conference. These are the pictures coming through. And if he does address the gathering there, we will get you those details. See you after the break.
Baba.
But I will order federal workers to get back to the office in person or be terminated from the job immediately. And we will create the new Department of Government Efficiency headed by Elon Musk. And no, he's not taking the presidency. I like having smart people. You know, they're on a new kick. Russia, 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 Ukraine, 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 all the different hoaxes. And the new one is, President Trump has ceded the presidency to Elon Musk. No, that's not happening. But Elon's done an amazing job. Isn't it nice to have smart people that we can rely on? Right? Don't we want that? He's done a great job. Our citizens, we're going to protect our citizens. But no, he's not going to be president, that I can tell you. And I'm safe, you know why? He can't be. He wasn't born in this country. But the fake news knows that. No, he's a great guy, and we want to have him. Everybody, so many people are in this audience that have helped.
Donald Trump on Wednesday pressured his fellow Republicans in Congress to reject a stopgap bill that would prevent a government shutdown. The president-elect's intervention disrupts a bipartisan effort to keep the government funded past the end of the week. Trump instead urged Congress to pass legislation that would raise the debt ceiling, a politically difficult task. He also said lawmakers should strip out elements backed by Democrats whose support would be necessary for passage. He warned that Republicans who vote for the current package could have trouble getting reelected, writing, quote, "Any Republican that would be so stupid as to do this should and will be primaried." Trump ally billionaire Elon Musk chimed in as well, pressuring Congress to reject the bill and saying that those who back it should be voted out of office. Musk spent more than $250 million to help Trump get elected and has been tasked by Trump to prune the federal budget. Right now, the bill would fund government agencies at current levels and provide $100 billion for disaster relief and $10 billion in farm aid. It also includes a wide range of unrelated provisions, such as a pay raise for lawmakers and a crackdown on hidden hotel fees. It does not cover benefit programs like Social Security, which continue automatically. Trump said Congress should limit the bill to temporary spending and disaster relief and also raise the government's borrowing authority. The next steps for Congress were unclear as of Wednesday night. However, a shutdown at this time would disrupt a wide range of services, from air travel to law enforcement, and the days leading up to the Christmas holiday.
Dankeschön für alles.
Days after RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat warned against fresh temple-mosque disputes as not acceptable to resort to extreme hatred, he has taken a different stand. He said, and I quote, "All the oppression and atrocities happening in the world in the name of religion have happened due to misunderstandings about religion." Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh chief Mohan Bhagwat has urged different sects to work and explain their religion to its followers, as misunderstanding of religion leads to atrocities in the world. He said half knowledge is far more dangerous and it is as good as adharm, and more often than not it is half knowledge that causes more damage. The RSS chief was addressing the Mahanubhav Ashram Shatak Purti Samaroh in Maharashtra's Amravati on Sunday.
म्हणून हा धर्म समजवावा लागतो आणि समजवणं फार कठीण गोष्ट आहे. मनुष्य समजत नाही. मी खूप ज्ञानी मनुष्य असेल तर त्याला त म्हटल्यावर ताकभात लगेच लक्षात येतो. फार अज्ञानी माणूस असेल तर सांगणारा ज्ञानी आहे त्याला माहीत असतं म्हणून त्याचं तो लगेच ऐकतो. धर्म हा समजावा लागतो. तो नीट नाही समजला तर त्या धर्माच्या अर्धवट ज्ञानाने अधर्म होतो. जगामध्ये धर्माच्या नावाखाली जितके अत्याचार झाले आहेत ते या चुकीच्या समजुतीमुळे झाले आहेत. आणि म्हणून तो धर्म समजवायचं काम करणारे संप्रदाय असावे लागतात. नुसते पंथ असून चालत नाही.
जहाँ भी हमारे वेद पुराण शास्त्र उपनिषद ने बताया, जहाँ भी एविडेंस है, नंदी का मुख्य ज्ञान वापी की तरफ वो छोड़ दीजिए. आप पत्रकार हैं, आप पीछे से जाइए, पूरा स्ट्रक्चर देख लीजिए. देवी देवता के प्रतीक चिन्ह बने हुए, हमारे जो मंदिर होते हैं वही स्ट्रक्चर बने हुए, तब भी आप ये कहो कि ये मस्जिद है तो कैसे हो सकता है?
संभल का काम है. जहाँ सर्वे नहीं करने देते थे वहाँ खुदाई शुरू है और इस खुदाई में पूरा सबूत हिंदू पक्ष की मिल रहा है.
Ratan Sharda, author, leans towards the RSS. With us, Vinod Bansal, spokesperson of the Vishwa Hindu Parishad with us, Abhijit Iyer Mitra, senior fellow IPCS with us. Now there is also an earlier comment of Mohanji Bhagwat which has irked a lot of people, including we heard Mahant Rajudas and also some of the other sons. I just want to quickly play that out also and come back to you.
हे जीवन जर ही हार्मनी जर जगाला पाहिजे असेल तर आपल्या देशात याचं मॉडेल उभं करायचं म्हणजे ही हार्मनी आपल्या देशात असली पाहिजे. श्रद्धेचा आदर त्यामुळे राम मंदिर झालं पाहिजे. ते होत आहे. हिंदूंची श्रद्धास्थान हिंदूंना वाटतं. परंतु असं केलं म्हणजे हिंदूमध्ये नेता होता येतं म्हणून किंवा अतिरेकी भूतकाळाच्या ओझ्याच्या परिणामामुळे अतिरेकी तिरस्कार, द्वेष, शत्रुता, संशय याच्या पोटी रोज एक नवीन प्रकरण काढणे हे कसं चालेल? हे नाही चालणार. शेवटी आपण आपलं सोल्युशन काय आहे? जगाला आपल्याला दाखवायचं आहे की आपण सगळे एकत्र नांदू शकतो. आपल्या देशात त्याचा छोटासा प्रयोग झाला पाहिजे. तो प्रयोग करताना आहेत आमच्या या सगळ्यांना सामावून घेणाऱ्या अनेक पंथ संप्रदायांच्या विचारधारा आमच्या इथे आहेत.
Well, there is more that he had said at that time, but Ratan Sharda ji, isn't this a departure? Is this a call for moderation or a departure from the previous RSS ideologues? My first question to you on that, because I remember clearly Raju Bhaiya and others very clearly said that 3 places of Astha is something that we will want. That is Krishna Janmasthan, there is Adi Vishweshwar in Banaras, and Ram Mandir, Ram Janmabhoomi. Now, here he is saying, don't even talk about anything else. Ram Mandir is done. We don't want anything else.
Thanks for inviting me. Though I avoided these debates, but I thought I could speak here with peace and some calm.
Ji.
See, first of all, RSS does not claim to be representing the entire Hindu society. That the critics were saying that who is RSS or Mohan Bhagwat ji taking a stance that they are deciding on the behalf of Hindus. They are not. As the most powerful organization of Hindus working for last 100 years, he expresses the opinion which are not just his opinion. These are the opinions of the top leadership after taking into account so many other factors. Hindu society is in a churn, no doubt. It's simmering with anger and frustration for the last 70 years of not getting justice and being treated as third-class citizen, etc. At the same time, RSS is the one who awakened the society and saw to it that we realize that it's a Hindu nation and we have to see that our tradition and cultures are safe. From that ground, it took many unpopular decisions. It spoke many times which was against the popular mindset. And for that reason, even today, if RSS takes a stance which is not particularly popular with many people, it will take a stance because RSS would take a very large and long-term view of the society. It knows that the society which is on the verge of takeoff as a strong contender of the world order, it has to have a peaceful society. It has to have some sense of balance in what it does. It does not mean that RSS is trying to take away the earlier stance that we want 3 temples and we are talking of looking at justice for our temples which are broken and taken by the invaders. As per the period of this particular time when the entire society is in a churn and a simmering mindset, someone has to take a bold step and say, please calm down, please take a step back and then see what can be done. I would take it as a caution to people who have been very over enthusiastic after finding that Hindu has become very acceptable, who have no responsibility of keeping peace in the society, who have no responsibility towards having a very clear-cut mindset and agenda to take people along. It's very easy to raise people's tempers, very difficult to cool down, and very difficult to control when it comes to
here is a question, Ratan Shahdaji. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is speaking at the Catholic Bishops' conference in the national capital, and while he's addressing the gathering, he's saying, teaching of Lord Christ to celebrate love, harmony and brotherhood, it is important we all work to make the spirit stronger, but it pains my heart when there are attempts to spread disharmony and violence. India prioritizes both national interest and human interest in its foreign policy. In the past 10 years, India has become the 5th biggest economy because we believed in ourselves. Now, is there something where the RSS and the PM are trying to mirror each other and trying to say, let's try and calm down and cool down the tempers? But the tone adopted, are those who are going to the courts legally, looking at legal recourse, are they digging up every mosque, Abhijit Iyer Mitra? Or are they going back and saying that where temples were buried under and mosques were built over them, and historically, scientifically, legally fight for what is their right? Now, does the constitution not give us those rights? How are they rabble rousers? How are they trying to do netagiri, etc.? How do you read this entire aspect of moderation and allowing to try and, is there an effort to try and calm down tempers before anger boils out on the streets, or things or a repetition of Sambal happens across the across many cities of our country? Is that, who's fear mongering there then?
So first of all, Anand, I think we have to distinguish in what Mohan Bhagwat ji said. See, there are people calling for every mosque to be demolished and temples to be built in its stead. There are much more responsible people who have a very set criteria on where temples need to be built, which is that there is ongoing worship in those temples and a tradition of veneration and the sacredness of the site for several hundreds, if not thousands of years. Right? Those are two different things. Now, Mohan Bhagwat ji hasn't distinguished between these two. But understand, every time you go in, Ayodhya was not won without preparation. You have to prepare the legal groundwork, but there is also the social groundwork. There is a mobilization of workers. There is a public mobilization that needs to take place. You can't just run into battle like that without preparing the ground for everything. Ayodhya has taken us almost 40-50 years to get back through legal battles. Kashi and Mathura will maybe take another 10-15 years. These things have to be prepared. Ground has to be laid slowly. You can't just run in, screaming fire in a cinema hall equivalent and then, expect there not to be consequences. We have to be very well prepared. This is exactly what I believe. Now, I know it didn't come across clearly from Mohan Bhagwat ji's speech. But if you listen carefully to what the RSS has said over the years, they are against intemperate, unprecipitate action. They are not against reclaiming temples, but you can't just go around saying everything was a temple and it may have even been a temple. But the point is, if it has lost its veneration, if it has lost, for example, look at the Qutub Minar complex. We know there are 24 Jain temples. But where has the continuing veneration of that site been? You can't, this is about getting back our sacred spaces. It is not about relitigating history. The problem is there is a whole bunch of irresponsible people who claim to be on the right who want to relitigate history and take it back, not because it is a site of current veneration and ongoing sacredness to us, but simply to score a point and relitigate that history.
See, here is my point. Those who believe in the Kalki avatar, are they going to say that, okay, let's not try and litigate and get the Harihar temple back in Sambhal? What about the Bhoja? What about the Bhojshala? Is the Bhojshala rabble rousing when the ASI itself suppose? And these are all ASI monitored sites. These are not sites where somebody is going and saying that they want to demolish the existing structure. They are saying, look at what the actual original character of that structure is. It's under ASI. It does not come under the ambit of the Places of Worship Act. They are going to the courts. They are not even doing dharna. They are not even taking bricks and stones and trying to break down structures. But when a Mohan Bhagwat says what he is saying, is it aimed at those elements or is it aimed at somebody else? Vinod Bansalji, with us, we have seen some of the sadhus who are heading towards Kumbh. There are others who are saying, who have not taken kindly to what Mohanji Bhagwat has said. Is it a departure from the RSS's existing position in the past, or is it just trying to say, calm down, let's do this step by step, slowly, rather than rushing into it, because that's going to cause social disharmony?
No, Anandji, nothing has changed to the position of the RSS or the organization belongs to it actually. Neither the Hindu society can change its position because they have faced the lot in last hundreds of years actually. The thing is that the perspective of the Pujani Sarsang Chalak statement must be understood in a true spirit and meaning. The thing is that the Pujani Sarsang Chalak says what he thinks about. But the we the small people understand in other way means. The thing is that कि देखिए जो पूजनी सरसंघ चालक जी ने कहा जी, वो सही हमने सुना कि नहीं सुना और सही हमने समझा कि नहीं समझा, यही तो बात है। आप देखिए कल उन्होंने जो बात कही थी कि भाई धर्म की व्याख्या, धर्म का ज्ञान और उसके बुद्धि में धारण करना और उसका प्रयोग करना, तीनों अलग अलग चीजें हैं। यही बात तो मैं कहता हूँ, देखिए ऐसे ही जो है ना, हमारे ग्रंथों में बहुत कुछ है, हमारे पूज्य संत बहुत कुछ कहते हैं, लेकिन क्या हम उसको राइट पर्सपेक्टिव में समझ पाते हैं क्या हम उसको उसी डायरेक्शन में इंप्लीमेंट कर सकते हैं, कर पाते हैं क्या? दैट इज दी होल स्टोरी बिहाइंड दी सीन एक्चुअली। मैं कहना चाहता हूँ आनंद जी, देखिए पूजनी सरसंघ चालक जी कोई ऐसा तो है नहीं कोई ऐसे ऑफ हैंड बोल देते हैं, या मतलब उनको पता नहीं है कि मेरे एक स्टेटमेंट का क्या रिपरकशन होगा। ही बिलोंग्स टू ए सोसाइटी विच इज द लार्जेस्ट वन इन दी वर्ल्ड एक्चुअली। उनका जो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है वो आज जो है वो विश्व का सबसे बड़ा ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है जी। और ऐसे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन जो उनके जो अनुषंगिक संगठन है उनका व्याप्त कितना है आप जानते हैं अच्छी तरह से। तो मैं कहता हूँ पूजनी सरसंघ चालक जी की बात को उन्होंने जो बात कही वो कही कि विश्वगुरु भारत के अवसर पर, कि जब विश्वगुरु भारत कब बनेगा, कैसे बनेगा, तो वो तब बनेगा जब झगड़े खत्म हो जाएंगे आपस में। लेकिन
ये मंशा हर किसी की होनी चाहिए ना। हार्मोनी सिर्फ एक समुदाय, एक गुट की तो जिम्मेदारी नहीं हो सकती, उसका ध्येय नहीं हो सकता। इट हैज टू बी अ कलेक्टिव कॉल। सो देन वेयर so does it not bear upon the others to say, okay, if there has been an atrocity and if the faith and astha belief of some has been trampled upon, let's correct that so that there is no misgiving and there is no problem in society and we can collectively as a nation move forward. Well, gentlemen, जी, I have to go across to what the PM has said because उन्होंने भी इस पर कुछ बात कही है, टिप्पणी की है। I have to cut across to that and then I'll come back if time permits. जी.
Socially conscious Indians are powering many mass movements. Swachh Bharat helped build a cleaner India. It also impacted health outcomes of women and children. Millets or Sriyand grown by our farmers are being welcomed across our country and the world. People are becoming vocal for local, encouraging artisans and industries. Ek ped, meaning a tree for mother, has also become popular among the people. This celebrates Mother Nature as well as our mother. Many people from the Christian community are also active in these initiatives. I congratulate our youth, including those from the Christian community, for taking the lead in such initiatives. Such collective efforts are important to fulfill the goal of building a developed India. साथियों, मुझे विश्वास है हम सबके सामूहिक प्रयास हमारे देश को आगे बढ़ाएंगे। विकसित भारत हम सभी का लक्ष्य है और हमें इसे मिलकर पाना है। ये आने वाली पीढ़ियों के प्रति हमारा दायित्व है कि हम उन्हें एक उज्जवल भारत देकर जाएं। मैं एक बार फिर आप सभी को क्रिसमस और जुबिली ईयर की बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं, शुभकामनाएं देता हूं। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Co-powered by
But I will order federal workers to get back to the office in person or be terminated from the job immediately. And we will create the new Department of Government Efficiency headed by Elon Musk. And no, he's not taking the presidency. I like having smart people. You know, they're on a new kick. Russia, 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 Ukraine, 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 all the different hoaxes. And the new one is, President Trump has ceded the presidency to Elon Musk. No, that's not happening. But Elon's done an amazing job. Isn't it nice to have smart people that we can rely on? Right? Don't we want that? He's done a great job. Our citizens, we're going to protect our citizens. But no, he's not going to be president, that I can tell you. And I'm safe, you know why? He can't be. He wasn't born in this country. But the fake news knows that. No, he's a great guy, and we want to have him. Everybody, so many people are in this audience that have helped.
Donald Trump on Wednesday pressured his fellow Republicans in Congress to reject a stopgap bill that would prevent a government shutdown. The president-elect's intervention disrupts a bipartisan effort to keep the government funded past the end of the week. Trump instead urged Congress to pass legislation that would raise the debt ceiling, a politically difficult task. He also said lawmakers should strip out elements backed by Democrats whose support would be necessary for passage. He warned that Republicans who vote for the current package could have trouble getting reelected, writing, quote, "Any Republican that would be so stupid as to do this should and will be primaried." Trump ally billionaire Elon Musk chimed in as well, pressuring Congress to reject the bill and saying that those who back it should be voted out of office. Musk spent more than $250 million to help Trump get elected and has been tasked by Trump to prune the federal budget. Right now, the bill would fund government agencies at current levels and provide $100 billion for disaster relief and $10 billion in farm aid. It also includes a wide range of unrelated provisions, such as a pay raise for lawmakers and a crackdown on hidden hotel fees. It does not cover benefit programs like Social Security, which continue automatically. Trump said Congress should limit the bill to temporary spending and disaster relief and also raise the government's borrowing authority. The next steps for Congress were unclear as of Wednesday night. However, a shutdown at this time would disrupt a wide range of services, from air travel to law enforcement, and
The Allu Arjun saga has unfolded since the 4th of December, since a woman died in a stampede at the Sandhya Theatre in Hyderabad during the screening of his movie Pushpa 2, The Rule. cops said the actor arrived at the venue without prior permission. The gates of the theatre could not hold the surging crowds, and soon that led to a stampede at the venue, leaving a person dead. Actor Allu Arjun was arrested in connection with the Hyderabad stampede, but was then granted interim bail by the Telangana High Court after spending a night in jail, and this happened last week. Now on Friday morning, a police team picked Allu Arjun up from his house in Jubilee Hills. When the cops arrived at his residence, Allu Arjun, dressed in Pushpa 2 sweatshirt, was sipping coffee. Initially, the actor expressed his displeasure over the cops entering his private space. Allu Arjun, who was picked up from his home, was taken to the Chikadapalli police station for questioning regarding the incident. His fans gathered in large numbers outside the police station in support of the actor. After 2 hours of questioning, the actor was then arrested. The arrest sparked a wave of political criticism, especially from the opposition to BJP and the BRS in Telangana. Later in the evening on Friday, the Telangana High Court granted Allu Arjun interim bail for 4 weeks, requiring a personal bond of 50,000 rupees. Allu Arjun was released at around 6:30 a.m. the next day after having to spend a night in the barracks, where he had a brief sleep and consumed food brought by his family. On the 22nd of December, stones were then pelted at Allu Arjun's residence. 6 accused were arrested and then granted bail just 2 hours later. Now here's what happened. The cops, after Allu Arjun spoke with the media, released a video which claimed that it was indeed Allu Arjun and his bouncers that had pushed around the supporters who had come there, and that led to the stampede. But Allu Arjun and the theatre owners believe the cops were lax in their ability to provide security. Now, the CCTV footage released by the Hyderabad police shows that the actor Allu Arjun left the theatre around 11:45 p.m. on the 4th of December, escorted by the police. The cops have claimed that the actor refused to leave the theatre even after he was told about the overwhelming crowds outside. He instead insisted on watching the film, but however was forced to leave the premises as the situation spiraled out of hand. Now, one question that everybody would ask is that Allu Arjun is sitting inside the theatre watching a movie. How is it that asking him to come out midway through the movie and taking him out, how is that going to help dissipate the crowds or control the crowds outside? Should the cops not have focused on creating and focusing on making the bandobast more robust outside the theatre? Now, the cops claim that Allu reached the theatre without permit. But there is a letter out in public domain that shows the Sandhya Theatre authorities actually sending out the letter to the cops requesting for extra security. The cops tried to reach out to Allu Arjun but failed, is what they are claiming. The DCP forced Allu Arjun to leave, is what they are saying. Allu Arjun came out and waved despite warnings, is another claim that's being made, that Allu Arjun did have a role to play in what ensued outside. The question that comes to mind, ladies and gentlemen, is the Telangana cops may say, we asked you to go, but you didn't. But does that take away the rights, as the courts had observed? Does that take away the rights? If one is a celebrity, does that take away the rights of the celebrity to not go and have and exercise his right to liberty? The cops said, don't wave to the crowds. Why wouldn't he wave to the crowds? The cops should have been able to control the crowds. The cops couldn't control the crowds. So if Allu Arjun is responsible, so aren't the cops too? And if Allu Arjun should be arrested, shouldn't the cops too? And how is it that those who vandalized Allu Arjun's residence, those who threw stones and waved and tried to attack his house, they got bail faster than Allu Arjun himself? These are some of the questions. Listen to the reactions.
अभी ये बाउंसर्स का सिलसिला जो है हम देख रहे हैं दिन बर दिन खराब होता जा रहा है। अभी ये जो रिसेंट संध्या थिएटर में हुआ था, हम देखे हैं कि 40-50 बाउंसर आकर वो किसी के बारे में नहीं सोचते हैं। वहाँ पुलिस है, पब्लिक है, सबको ढकेल कर बस वीआई के बारे में सोच के गेट खोल देना, पब्लिक जो भी आए अंदर कर ले, उसको उनको कोई उससे मतलब नहीं, उनको एक वीआईपी के से ही मतलब रहता है।
हीरो तो नहीं गया थिएटर छोड़ के, वहीं बैठा हुआ है। तब डीसीपी आके सीधा हटा के इनके जो भी है सब सिक्योरिटी वाले पुलिस को हैंड ओवर कर देके डीसीपी जाके हीरो को बोल दिए कि भाई तुम तुरंत निकलना, नहीं तो हम लोग अरेस्ट करना पड़ता, क्योंकि 2 लाश गिर गए बाहर। आप यहाँ पर थिएटर में बैठ के तमाशा किए तो ये कंट्रोल नहीं होने वाले हैं, हम नहीं सुनने वाले हैं। आपको अरेस्ट करके पुलिस स्टेशन लेकर जाना पड़ता। बाहर गाड़ी में बिठाने के बाद फिर जाते होकर फिर रूफटॉप निकाल के फिर लोगों को ऐसा कर रहा, तो ये कैसे इंसान है? हम लोग क्या बोलना है?
False allegations falling on you, saying this is your character assassination, that is not done.
Now, an alleged political connection to last night's vandalism at Allu Arjun's residence has also emerged. The BJP and the BRS has alleged that the attack at Allu Arjun's residence was state-sponsored. The Congress, however, has refuted the charge, claiming the opposition is only supporting the accused celebrity for political gains. The BJP and the BRS has alleged that the actor is being targeted by the Revant Reddy government after he refused to campaign for the Congress party. Hitting right back, the Congress has countered this charge by calling it political drama by the BJP and the BRS. The BRS and the BJP even released one picture of one of the accused, Reddy Srinivas, with Telangana Chief Minister Revant Reddy. The accused is a youth Congress president from Kondagal, coincidentally the constituency of Revant Reddy, but the Congress has alleged that the accused is a disciple of KTR and called the charge nothing but an attempt to defame. Now, who's right, who's wrong? One has to wait and watch, but the producers of the movie have offered a further 50 lakh compensation to the family of the deceased. Allu Arjun earlier himself had pledged about 25 lakh rupees to the family of the deceased and those who have suffered the loss. We leave it at that here on The Right Stand. Stay with us, brass tacks, after the break.
Baba.
But I will order federal workers to get back to the office in person or be terminated from the job immediately. And we will create the new Department of Government Efficiency headed by Elon Musk. And no, he's not taking the presidency. I like having smart people. You know, they're on a new kick. Russia, 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 Ukraine, 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 all the different hoaxes. And the new one is, President Trump has ceded the presidency to Elon Musk. No, that's not happening. But Elon's done an amazing job. Isn't it nice to have smart people that we can rely on? Right? Don't we want that? He's done a great job. Our citizens, we're going to protect our citizens. But no, he's not going to be president, that I can tell you. And I'm safe, you know why? He can't be. He wasn't born in this country. But the fake news knows that. No, he's a great guy, and we want to have him. Everybody, so many people are in this audience that have helped.
Donald Trump on Wednesday pressured his fellow Republicans in Congress to reject a stopgap bill that would prevent a government shutdown. The president-elect's intervention disrupts a bipartisan effort to keep the government funded past the end of the week. Trump instead urged Congress to pass legislation that would raise the debt ceiling, a politically difficult task. He also said lawmakers should strip out elements backed by Democrats whose support would be necessary for passage. He warned that Republicans who vote for the current package could have trouble getting reelected, writing, quote, "Any Republican that would be so stupid as to do this should and will be primaried." Trump ally billionaire Elon Musk chimed in as well, pressuring Congress to reject the bill and saying that those who back it should be voted out of office. Musk spent more than $250 million to help Trump get elected and has been tasked by Trump to prune the federal budget. Right now, the bill would fund government agencies at current levels and provide $100 billion for disaster relief and $10 billion in farm aid. It also includes a wide range of unrelated provisions, such as a pay raise for lawmakers and a crackdown on hidden hotel fees. It does not cover benefit programs like Social Security.
Tam Laminates presents CNN News 18 Primetime Studio.
A very good evening. You're watching Brass Tacks with me, Akanksha Swaroop. We're coming live to you from CNN News 18 Primetime Studio, presented by Green Lamb Laminates. Pushpa 2 is breaking all box office records since its release, but a woman is dead and her child still struggling for life. And the controversy over the stampede during the movie screening refuses to die down. From Allu Arjun's arrest to release to bail to the charges that have been traded by the actor and the state government. On Saturday, Allu Arjun termed the accusations over the Sandhya Theatre stampede as a part of a campaign of character assassination, as the Telangana Chief Minister Javed Reddy said the actor was denied permission for the visit by the police. Now, countering Pushpa 2 star, Hyderabad Police has also made shocking accusations against the actor. Despite his denial of all allegations, the authorities have now released a video that presents evidence to support their claims. The fallout of this entire episode has reached Allu Arjun's doorstep, quite literally. Some persons holding placards in their hands suddenly rushed to the residence of actor Allu Arjun in Jubilee Hills and started sloganeering last evening. One of them mounted the compound and started throwing tomatoes and stones. They manhandled the security personnel and damaged flower pots. But what's turned heads is an alleged political connection to that vandalism. In fact, a photo war has now erupted. This over one of the rioters, Reddy Srinivas's link to the BRS in the past and currently Congress. The major twist in the tale comes after a video of the accused Reddy Srinivas came to the fore, where he can be seen thanking people for electing him as the Congress Youth President from Kodangal. He can be heard thanking Chief Minister Javed Reddy in this video. Congress had earlier alleged that the accused had links with BRS and was close to its working president KTR. This is the saga so far, one that raises key questions. Is an actor responsible for handling crowds? Or is it the job of the authorities? But then also, what is the role of the actor here? The moot question being, who has failed? The Telangana government or the superstar National Award winner Allu Arjun? Arjun has found himself in the middle of a legal mess. This is regarding the Sandhya Theatre stampede, which resulted in Allu Arjun getting arrested and then released a day after. On 4th of December, let me take you through that entire timeline. Allu Arjun, along with co-star Rashmika Mandanna and wife Allu Sneha Reddy, attended the Pushpa 2 premiere at the Sandhya Theatre, which allegedly caused a stampede and thus resulted in the death of a female fan named Revati. She was a mother. On December 6th, Allu Arjun expressed his devastation over the entire incident because, remember, her child still is struggling for life. He announced a contribution of 25 lakh rupees along with coverage of the injured son's medical expenses. The tragedy sent shockwaves across the country.